You know, when you think about home disasters, water has to be right up there, not just like a dripping tap, but the big stuff. A burst pipe, a failed water heater, it can turn everything upside down fast.
It really can.
But
And that's what we're diving into today.
welcome to the deep dive. We've got a ton of great source material here on everything from basic plumbing maintenance to sprinkler systems, even water filtration.
Yep. And our goal really is to give you that shortcut. How to be proactive about your home's water systems, avoid those horrible emergency calls, and honestly, just enjoy your home more.
Exactly. It's about becoming that smart homeowner, looking after the systems people often forget about until it's way too late. And the material really hammers home the cost of just, well, ignoring it.
Oh, absolutely. The numbers are pretty stark. We looked into it, and emergency plumbing repairs, they can easily cost 3, maybe even 5 times more than just doing the regular maintenance beforehand.
Wow, 3 to 5 times.
Yeah. And that's often just for the plumbing fix itself. That doesn't even touch the water damage cleanup, replacing drywall, flooring, dealing with mold.
Yeah.
That adds thousands more instantly.
Right. It's not just the one bill, is it? It's this cascade effect, that little leak you put off fixing.
Yeah.
Down the line, that could mean mold, rot, even structural problems. Big headache, big money.
Exactly. Which brings us back to prevention. It just makes so much sense. You put together a year-round maintenance plan, check the plumbing, give the sprinklers a once-over, maybe test the water quality to catch things early.
And you're not just dodging disasters, you're making your appliances last longer, right? Cutting water bills, too.
Definitely. Longer lifespan for pipes and heaters, lower bills.
Mm-hmm.
It's savings all around. It's kind of a no-brainer, really.
Okay, so we're sold on the why. Avoid the nightmare scenario, save money. Let's get practical. The how. What does every homeowner need, tool-wise, for just basic plumbing upkeep?
Good question. You don't need a whole workshop, but a few essentials are key. First up, wrenches. A pipe wrench for gripping pipes, and an adjustable wrench for different nuts and fittings.
Okay, 2 wrenches. Got it.
Then, something to clear clogs. A decent drain snake, sometimes called an auger, is invaluable.
Yeah.
And a plunger, of course.
Ah, the plunger. Classic.
But here's a pro tip from the material. Get a flange plunger. Has that extra flap, seals much better on a toilet drain compared to just a simple cup plunger you might use for a sink. Makes difference.
That's a great detail. What else?
Teflon tape. Tiny roll. Huge importance for sealing threaded pipe connections to prevent leaks.
Right, the white tape.
Yep. But you got to wrap it the right way, clockwise, same direction the fitting tightens. Otherwise, it just kind of bunches up and doesn't seal properly. Little thing, big impact.
Good tip. Okay, so we have the tools. Now, the crucial question. When do you use them? And when do you absolutely call a professional? We don't want people causing more damage, right?
Exactly. That line is important. Simple stuff. Tightening a leaky faucet connection, maybe replacing a worn-out washer in a shower head, clearing a slow drain with your snake that's usually safe DIY territory.
Okay, so what's definitely not DIY?
Anything major or high pressure. If you suspect a pipe has actually burst, or if your water heater is actively leaking, or if multiple drains are backing up at once, don't hesitate. Call a licensed plumber immediately.
It's about avoiding turning a, say, $500 problem into a $5,000 flood, right?
Precisely. You're protecting your home and yourself from potentially huge repair bills and liability. And just a quick practical thought. Keep those basic tools together. Labeled, maybe, in a spot you can find them quickly.
Good call. No hunting for a wrench when water's spraying everywhere.
Exactly.
Okay, let's zoom in on a couple of key areas. Drains and water heaters. These impact our daily lives constantly. Starting with drains, how do we keep them flowing freely without resorting to those really harsh chemical cleaners?
Yeah, prevention is key here. We know the main culprits are usually hair, grease, and food scraps. So, first line of defense. Use drain screens or strainers. Simple, but effective.
Makes sense. And for maintenance.
The sources strongly suggest a natural approach, maybe monthly. Pour about half a cup of baking soda down the drain. Then follow it with half a cup of white vinegar. You'll get that fizzing reaction. Let it sit for, say, 15-20 minutes.
Okay.
Then flush it all down with a kettle full of very hot water. Not boiling, but hot. That combination helps break down grease and other gunk without damaging your pipes like some chemicals can.
That sounds much better. And what are the warning signs that we need to pay attention to before a total blockage?
Slow draining is the big one, obviously. But also listen for gurgling sounds, or if you start noticing bad smells coming from the drain. Those mean trouble's brewing.
Got it. Act fast on those signs. Now let's talk water heaters. Probably one of the biggest energy users in the house, right?
Yeah.
And critical for comfort. How do we make them last and run efficiently?
It depends a bit on the type. For a traditional tank heater, the single most important check, according to the material, is the anode rod.
The anode rod, explain that.
Okay, so it's basically a metal rod, often aluminum or magnesium, inside the tank. Its job is to corrode instead of your tank lining. It attracts all the corrosive elements in the water. It's sacrificial.
Ah, so it takes the hit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it gets used up over time, so you need to check it, ideally annually, and replace it if it's mostly gone. If you don't, the water starts eating away at the steel tank itself.
Wow, that's a critical check then. What else for tank heaters?
Flushing the tank annually is also really important. Gets rid of sediment buildup at the bottom, which improves efficiency and lifespan, and check the pressure relief valve.
Okay. What about tankless heaters? They're different, right?
They are. They don't store water, so no anode rod needed. But they do need descaling, especially in hard water areas. Minerals, like calcium and lime, build up on the heating elements or heat exchanger.
And that makes them work harder, less efficient.
Much less efficient. So you need to flush them periodically with a descaling solution. Also important to check their vents are clear.
Makes sense. And for saving energy with either type, I read about lowering the temperature setting.
Yes, that's a big one. The sources recommend setting it around 120 degrees Fahrenheit or 49 Celsius.
Why that specific temperature?
It's sort of the sweet spot. Hot enough to kill most harmful bacteria like Legionella, but not so hot that it wastes a ton of energy or poses a major scalding risk, especially if you have kids.
Right, safety and savings.
And insulating the tank itself, if it's a tank model, and the hot water pipes coming out of it, that helps too. Keeps the heat in.
Good tips. And what are the absolute call a pro now signs for a water heater?
Definitely any visible leaks from the tank itself. Also, rusty colored hot water, loud banging or popping noises from the tank or suddenly not getting enough hot water, or a big unexplained jump in your energy bill. Those usually mean something serious is wrong internally.
Okay, good to know. Let's head outside now. Sprinkler systems. Easy to set and forget, but they need care too, right? Especially to save water and avoid problems.
Oh, absolutely. Seasonal care is vital. Let's start with spring. When you turn the system back on after winter,
Yeah.
you need to do it slowly. Turn the water on gradually to avoid pressure surges. And then walk the whole system, zone by zone. Look for leaks, broken sprinkler heads, pipes damaged by frost heave, that sort of thing.
Checking the whole network before you rely on it. Makes sense.
Exactly. And adjust the watering schedule for spring conditions. Then comes summer.
It's about efficiency, I guess.
Totally. Check head alignment again. Are they watering the lawn or the sidewalk? Clean any clogged nozzles. A pin or paperclip often works. And optimize the schedule for hotter, drier weather.
This is where smart controllers could really help, right? Adjusting automatically.
Big time. Smart controllers that use weather data can save a lot of water compared to just running a fixed schedule every day. Big potential savings there.
Okay, now the big one for colder areas. Winterization. If the sources really stress this, how do you prevent pipes from bursting over winter?
This is probably the single most critical maintenance step for sprinkler systems in freezing climates. You have to get all the water out, period.
So how's it done?
Step one is shutting off the main water supply to the irrigation system. Then you need to drain the water out. Some systems have manual drain valves, some automatic.
Yeah.
But often, that's not enough on its own.
Right. There's still water left in the low spots.
Exactly. Which is why the gold standard is blowing out the system with compressed air.
Okay, that sounds intense. How does that work safer?
It needs care. You connect an air compressor, usually a fairly large one, to the system, typically via a fitting near the main shutoff valve. Then working zone by zone, you carefully introduce compressed air to push all the remaining water out through the sprinkler heads.
The key seems to be carefully. What's the risk?
Using too much pressure. This is critical. Most residential PVC pipe is rated for maybe 80 psi max, sometimes less for older systems. You need high volume air, but relatively low pressure. Too much pressure, and you can literally shatter the pipes underground.
Ah, so it's not just blasting it with any compressor. Low pressure, high volume. Got it. Maybe a job for a pro if you're unsure.
Honestly, yes. For many homeowners, hiring an irrigation specialist to do the blowout is the safest bet. They have the right equipment and know-how.
And don't forget the above ground bits, right? Backflow preventer.
Right, protect those too. Drain them, wrap them in insulation, maybe remove sensitive parts if possible, store any removable heads or valves indoors.
Okay, comprehensive sprinkler care. Let's move back inside and talk water quality. We've covered leaks and pipes, but what about the water itself? Is it clean?
Super important point. You can have perfect plumbing, but if the water coming into your house has issues, you still have a problem. Health is paramount.
So where do you start? How do you even know what's in your water?
The first step is information. Check your local water utilities website. They're required to publish an annual water quality report, often called a Consumer Confidence Report, or CCR.
And that tells you.
It lists the contaminants they tested for, the levels found, and whether they meet federal or state standards.
Right.
You might see things like chlorine levels, lead, nitrates, bacteria counts. Depends on your area and water source. It gives you a baseline.
Like the EPA says, drinking water quality is a major public health issue, so know what you're dealing with first.
Exactly. Once you know if there are specific concerns, maybe high chlorine taste or hard water minerals or something more serious like lead, then you can look at solutions. Generally, filtration falls into two main camps.
Okay, what are they?
First is whole house filtration. This is a system installed right where the main water line enters your home. It treats all the water sinks, showers, washing machine, everything.
The big benefit there is total coverage, I guess, and maybe less fuss with individual filters.
Generally, yes. Whole house filters are larger, so they often last longer between changes, maybe 6 months to a year or more, depending on the type and your water usage.
And the other camp?
That's point-of-use filtration. Think of a filter pitcher, an under-sink filter just for the kitchen tap, or the filter in your refrigerator's water dispenser. They treat water only at that specific spot.
So, more targeted. Good if you only care about drinking water, maybe.
Could be. The trade-off is you have multiple filters to manage, and they're usually smaller, so they need changing more often, sometimes every few months, for, say, a pitcher filter.
Right. And maintenance on any filter system is crucial, isn't it? It's not install and forget.
Absolutely not. A filter only works if it's maintained. If you don't change the filter cartridge on schedule, it stops removing contaminants.
Yeah.
Worse, it can actually become clogged and potentially even a place for bacteria to grow.
Yikes. So follow the manufacturer's schedule religiously.
Yes. It varies a lot. Simple activated carbon filters might be 6-12 months. More complex systems like reverse osmosis, the main membrane might last a couple of years, but pre-filters need changing sooner. And don't forget sanitization.
Sanitizing the filter system itself.
Yeah, especially the housings. Periodically, you might need to flush the system with a mild sanitizing solution, diluted bleach, or sometimes hydrogen peroxide, following instructions carefully, then rinse thoroughly. Prevents biofilm buildup.
Okay, good practices. Let's tie this all together with saving money. We've touched on it. But how can homeowners really boost water efficiency across the board? Good for the wallet, good for the planet.
Some quick wins come from fixtures. Installing high-efficiency, low-flow shower heads and toilets is huge. They use significantly less water per minute or per flush, often without you even noticing much difference in performance.
And less water used means less energy used to heat that water, too.
Exactly. It's a double-saving water bill and energy bill. Then there's technology. Smart water monitoring systems are becoming more popular.
How do those work?
You typically install a device on your main water line. It learns your home's normal water usage pattern. Then, if it detects unusual flow, like a running toilet you didn't notice, or maybe a small hidden leak, it sends an alert to your phone.
So it catches leaks super early.
Potentially within minutes or hours, instead of finding out weeks later on your bill, or worse, when you see damage, it gives you real-time visibility and control. That's truly proactive.
That sounds incredibly useful. What about outside? We talked sprinklers, but any other big water savers for the yard? The sources mention rainwater harvesting.
Yeah, that's moving towards a more sustainable approach. It sounds complex, but the basics are simple. You collect rainwater, usually from your roof gutters, store it in the tank or barrel.
Right. Size depends on roof and rain, I guess.
Exactly. And then you have a way to distribute it, maybe just a spigot on the tank, or you can connect it to your irrigation system. Modern systems can integrate pretty seamlessly.
So you're using free rainwater for watering plants instead of expensive treated city water.
Precisely. Great for non-potable uses like irrigation or washing the car. Reduces your municipal water demand significantly.
And finally, we can't forget the simple stuff, can we? Just basic habits.
Definitely not. Things like taking slightly shorter showers, turning off the tap while brushing teeth, fixing dripping faucets immediately, and checking your water meter.
Checking the meter. How does that help?
Make sure all water-using appliances and faucets are off inside and outside the house. Then go look at your water meter. If the little dial or triangle is still spinning, even slowly, you have a leak somewhere. It's your ultimate leak detector.
That's a great, simple diagnostic tool. Okay, so wrapping this all up.
I think the main takeaway is that taking this proactive stance on water management, doing the checks, using the right tools, understanding your systems, it pays off hugely. You avoid those incredibly expensive emergencies, you lower your monthly bills, and you keep your home structure sound. It really is smart home ownership.
It absolutely is. We've covered a lot, giving you hopefully a clear path to taking control of what can be a really complex and sometimes scary system in your home, moving beyond just reacting to problems.
And just to leave you with something specific to think about, building on all this, we talked about annual checks like for the anode rod or flushing the tank, but many plumbing experts actually recommend doing a full visual inspection of your entire accessible plumbing system, looking under sinks, checking pipe joints for corrosion or moisture, listening for drips at least twice a year.
Twice a year. So the question for you listening is, when was your last full water system check? If it's been more than 6 months, maybe now's the time to schedule it in. Don't wait for the surprise.